Right then, after a second place finish at the Players' Championship, often referred to as the fifth major in golf, joining us, the man of the moment, who's literally written the Cinderella story, that is Anirban Lahiri. Anirban, thanks so much for speaking to us. Firstly, I'd love to know, I know you've already got one gift in terms of a paycheck. The second gift came in terms of that kiss from your daughter, which I saw that visuals going viral, but now it's been close to 48 hours. Have you sat back and really, has it sunk in what you've managed to achieve?
Yeah, I guess to some extent, yes. I think my brain goes back more to, some of the shots on that back nine that I could have hit better, some of the irons that I left out, maybe, a better approach shot on the 18th hole, or that chip somehow finding the bottom of the cup and going to a playoff, because I really wanted to win. I really enjoyed being out there and just being in the present and doing what I love. And yeah, definitely disappointed with not having gone one better. But in hindsight, and also, like you said, in the aftermath, talking to some of my family, my friends and people in India, and just seeing the reactions, seeing how many people stayed up and watched it into the wee hours of the morning. It's very satisfying. Fantastic.
Considering that you're a Bengali who grew up literally in Bangalore, does it make it even more special that you got it in cold weather conditions that you're not used to? I believe at some
Yes.
point I was reading you're wearing 5 layers of clothes.
Yes, well, the thing is, on Sunday morning when I started, it was -2 degrees. So, in fact, Saturday I didn't play. But in the afternoon, when the rest of the field had resumed their second rounds, I actually went out to the golf course with a duffel bag full of pretty much all my warm weather clothes. And between my caddy and I, we went to the back of the range and we were trying to figure out how am I going to layer tomorrow morning? Because, like you correctly mentioned, I'm Bengali, and anything below 15 degrees is monkey cap weather for most of us. But no, I was actually experimenting with different layers. Eventually, by the end of the session, we decided on what 4 layers I could be most mobile in, and also mentally preparing for the fact that it's going to be cold. I'm not going to have sensation in my fingers and my toes, and things are going to be hard. I'm going to hit some bad shots because of that, and I have to mentally accept it and move forward and not carry that baggage. And so there was a lot of preparation to that as well, and it's very pleasing, having played in wet weather, cold weather, windy weather, start, stop, and also having to play 54 holes on Saturday and Sunday, under the gun with all the eyes on you, and leading, kind of leading from the front in the most elite field in the world, arguably. It's very satisfying to have played and kept my composure the way I did.
I don't know if you've got time to read a lot of coverage on Indian media, but let me just tell you, majority of the headlines are focusing on the big payday for Anirban. He's going to get 17 odd crores. A lot of articles I read comparing how much does an IPL player gets and how much is he going to get. But what does this tell you? What does this tell you? Do you think this is good? Maybe this sort of comparison, it'll help a lot of kids take to the sport of golf. It'll raise awareness, or do you think it's a myopic view of looking at a sport?
I think it's both. It's definitely a very myopic view of looking at the sport. I'll answer the slightly negative connotation of your question first, because it's a misleading figure. What we make is all we make. We don't have an IPL team paying for our hotels, paying for our travel, paying for our trainers, paying for our coaches, paying for everything else. I'm here by myself. I have to support myself completely. I'm an independent contractor. And of whatever I make, a large percentage goes to my caddy, my coach, my trainer, my whole team. It's not just something that I put in my pocket. So that's one aspect of it. But honestly, I don't even care about that, because like you said correctly, if just the right hand column and the focus on it is going to get people to look at golf and have parents say, what, maybe my son should play this sport, maybe he can make a living from doing this, and I'm going to support the fact that he loves it, and I'm going to give him what he needs or what she needs, then that's good enough for me. I think if the net outcome of this entire activity and even this media hype about that figure is that more people start playing the game and more golfers are created, especially at a young level, I think it's a great thing. I think it's a positive thing. And if eyes go to golf away from, obviously cricket is cricket, I understand that, I love it too, but if more eyes can go to this sport and there's more attention, then that's fine by me. I'm very happy.
Okay, tell us a bit about this journey as well, because a lot of focus has come onto you now. But for those of us who've been following golf, know that you've been there at the PGA Tour for the last 7 years. In your own words, you've said the last 2 years haven't been great. You've been working on. So, what really changed this time around? I've read a lot of articles, you adding weight to your iron and things like that. But maybe you could throw some light on that.
Well, it's definitely been a struggle. I just broke back into the top 100 in the world. But to just give you some perspective, I was in the top 100 in the world for 5.5 years. And that's the longest that anyone has ever been. Like between 2013 and 18, I never dropped out of the top 100. And I was in the top 50 for almost 2.5 years of that period. So this is not something that's new to me. I don't find myself in unknown waters in terms of that. But it also tells you that between 2018 and 2022, in that 3.5, 4 years, I obviously fell off the edge, and I found myself, 300, 400th in the world because I was playing terrible golf from a lot of different factors. It's hard being out here all by yourself, trying to find your way. It's definitely the hardest place in the world to play golf. And as you can see, evidently, it's also the most rewarding, which is why it's so difficult to ply your trade here, which is why everybody wants to get here. And I've had my fair share of challenges and struggles. I grew up working with my coach in India. I had a very good system that helped me to keep improving. I had to try and rediscover that system, which I failed to do. I make a lot of trips back home to India to work with my coach. I have a performance specialist that I work with in Bangalore. I've been working with him for 18 months. And that has also helped, trying to put in processes and routines in place that allow me to approach every week, every golf round with the same attitude, whether I'm playing an Indian tour event for 30 lakhs or if I'm playing the Players Championship for 20 million. I'm still approaching the round of golf with the same mental attitude. I'm still hitting every shot with the same routine. And that kind of blocks out all this noise, because these things are going on at the side. When I'm actually over the ball and hitting a shot, I'm not aware of any of these things. But to answer your question about the technicality, yeah, I was struggling with my iron play. The other departments of my game have been in good health. I would say my putting has been excellent. My driving has been excellent. But my iron play was very, very disappointing. And, I found myself in the bottom 10 percentile of everyone playing on this tour. And that's, quite a dangerous place to be. And that's why I found my, challenges to be the way they are. So I've been working with that on my coach. But technically, we made a little change in my clubs, the articles that you read about the weight. It just changes the balance. If I was to talk in cricket terms, all cricketers like a certain length, certain weight, they like the massness. So it's a very technical thing. With golf, it's even more so technical. So just changing about 3 to 4 grams at the bottom can completely change, how the club delivers and how it moves and twists and rotates at impact. And just making that change made a huge difference. And I was still swinging the same, but I was getting better results. So I didn't have to reinvent the wheel, and I could, do what I'm doing with more confidence, and that made a huge difference.
Okay, now staying true to my promise, this is my fifth and the last question. And this question doesn't come from me. I'll tell you what, I did put out a few videos after you had won, explaining your victory. And in all the comments that we got, I picked up one comment, which was very interesting to me. And I would love for you to answer that. This was N. Santra. So, one of our viewers who put this, and this was his comment. And he said, listen, if he can improve his inside 160-yard approach shot, he's going a bit to the right. And if he can improve his chipping and stand shots, there is no reason that he can't finish in top 10 in most tournaments. So this is a comment that I picked up. I'd love to hear your reaction on that.
I'm so glad that someone out there is following my golf with such keenness to have picked up on these. It's a very good observation. And, you opened with, how 48 hours later, what has sunk in and what hasn't. And when I was talking to you about replaying some of those shots, 3 of those shots happened to be shots around that 160 range that, the comment that you just read. So he's not far away from his observation. And yes, it comes down to, like I said, my iron play hasn't been my strength recently. It always was when I was playing my best. And this goes towards the same thing. I still need to improve a little bit more. I feel like the positions I put myself in the final round on Monday, I should have given myself more birdie opportunities and more realistic looks instead of having to, scramble and chip and putt my way to an opportunity. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of scope for me to improve. But again, I'm happy moving in the right direction, and if I continue to move in that direction, top 10, yes, definitely. But I'm more focused towards getting my maiden win out here.
All right, Anirban, thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us. And may Sandra's comment that you took so sportingly, may that come true and you finish in top 10 and get that elusive PGA Tour win that you're so looking forward to. Thank you so much once again for speaking with us.
Thank you, Nikhil. Thanks.